Read the disclaimer 13 up. Hello everyone, I want to talk about Beyblade X once again, and I know I've done many videos talking about it, but it is very interesting to try to cover whatever topics I think are really interesting. For this one, I want to take the focus on talking about left spin stuff, counterclockwise, that type of stuff. I want to kind of give my thoughts for what I think could be really interesting about it. What are some things I want to see them do? What are some things I want to see them avoid? Could there be problems, etc, etc, etc. And before we continue on, to mention mallofbays.com. Did you know for the entirety of June, we have 20% off of everything except for Beyblade X. That is 20% off. It is an optional way to support the channel. I appreciate any support regardless. And make sure you, after you watch this video, comment and let me know your thoughts. But one of the first things that popped into my head was obviously the stadium, because if you think about it, having one right bay and one left bay, their paths are going to basically go already to both of the sides and go meet in the middle. But no, also they're going to murder each other. And part of that's what makes it really exciting once we get our first left, because just to imagine the battles and the intensity that's going to happen between those clashing, I'm actually very, very excited to see. And I want to see how they're going to do it, man. I want to see how they're going to do it. I want to see what type is it going to be. Is it going to be, again, a left spin dragon? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, huh? But in seriousness, I'm curious what type they're going to start off with and what's the motif they'll probably pick. But the next thing I want to kind of cover now is going to be on the idea of the amount of bays. Okay, so the reason why I'm not going to really touch plastic gen is just because, like, burst and metal fights, if there are issues there because of the lefts, those issues are more prevalent there than they ever were on, like, plastics or even, like, HMS to me, at least personally. But what I want to kind of mention is my issue with burst is like the quantity that they do, because with burst you had like originally longinus, but then after it branches out to like nightmare and so many others in Beyblade Burst God, and again in Chozetsu, and then after again in JT, again in Sparking, again in DB/BU. It becomes where it's so many. There's left attack, there's left stamina, left balance, left defense, right? So many lefts. Even if you don't count the dual spin stuff, it's still a big amount. And to me, it doesn't feel as special, doesn't feel as unique. Does it, like, left and counterclockwise should be only saved on very specific stuff, because when you do so many, having lefts don't feel that special. Not like in the burst generation, they don't feel that special at all. You look at Metal Fight, it's primarily what? Just really El Drago, then it's Viraris, then it's Perseus, then after Ronin Dragoon. And if you want to count like all the variants you can do with the combinations of Ronin, whatever, but I'm not too a fan of how they did in 0G. And the quantity the Metal Fight had is probably what I would want to see Gen X kind of do with Beyblade X. You know, that's kind of just the point. Like, Metal Fight, it feels special, Burst, it just doesn't. I prefer as minimal as possible for counterclockwise stuff, and that extends even to dual spin. One, that is a good thing in general for the game, because I don't think having so many of these, like, counterclockwise stuff, because eventually you could get to the issues of potential just too much equalizer stuff, you know, that kind of annoying stuff. I just mentioned issues, but the more I thought about it, it really does depend how they develop the system. So if, let's say, they do a lot of left bays, it also depends how they develop it. So even if they do a lot, even though I think they shouldn't because it doesn't feel special, let's say they do. If they do that, I kind of thought, could there still be an issue that Burst has where, let's say, it's a lot of stamina, a lot of life after death, a lot of really too much boring equalizing stuff? And I thought, well, the more you think about it with how the tips are designed and the height in them, I think it'd be pretty difficult for the game to get boring in the sense of, like, I'm trying to think, like something like watching a Metal Fight equalized, or like a Burst standard stuff equalized. So if it does happen, could there be issues there watching the equalization and that type of stuff? I don't really think it would be too much of an issue. That's kind of it for what I could probably think of for this video. Obviously, this is a wait and see thing. This is just fun speculating. Is it going to be a problem? Maybe, who knows? Will it not be a problem? Maybe, who knows, right? That's the part of the fun of discussing for Beyblade X, which I am so excited for. I am eagerly waiting to get my hands on any one of them whenever I can get them. And yeah, I want to leave it off to you. What do you think? And I'll be now reading off the channel members that supported us, and God bless all of their souls. Shout out to Teddy Jones, Royal Kaiju Blader, Abs, Cybubble, Bay, Adlan, Christian Beyblade, and ST Seb. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. It is an optional way if you want to for the memberships. It just helps support, since, you know, with how YouTube is now, you know, any support I can take, I do appreciate a lot. And yeah, that's kind of it. There's nothing really else I can really talk about for Beyblade X. I feel like we've covered basically everything possible. Everything possible. I don't know, I could maybe, what's left? Gimmicks? What gimmicks I want? Anyways, thank you all for watching. Have a fantastic day, and let me know your thoughts again. Bye!